Hey guys, I'm Tim Kutch. I'm here to tell you a number of different things that's going to help you in your career. This is the first of a number of videos in a series that is all going to be designed to help you get better at what you do, learn more products, learn more lines of business, and figure out how to become a real insurance and investment professional. We're going to go through most of the basics. If you're in my hierarchy and you work with me in some capacity, I'll also go in a little bit deeper for another level of depth. Today, this story is just based on my story, how I got to where I am and what I'm doing today currently, and what I've seen some of the other successful financial advisors when I'm out on incentive trips, what they're doing to be successful in their local markets. So just to share with you real briefly, I graduated in December of 2011 with a degree in economics and heavy hand in finance from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. I went to Mutual of Omaha, their captive side. And so here in Omaha, they have a captive office. They say they have the best training program for new financial advisors in the country. And for the most part, it's true, as long as they're talking a captive environment. So what they do is they teach very heavily on doing the right thing for the client 100% of the time. And through that, they have a mini fact finder. My next video is going to be all about my current fact finder and how I've developed it over the years. So you'll get to see that. You'll get a copy of that. And all you'll have to do to make it work in your area is just switch my logo for yours. So it'll be super simple. And so I started out at Mutual of Omaha on their captive side, and I learned how to sell life insurance from 101, from the very beginning. I learned term, I learned final expense. They had a couple of cool, unique programs, guaranteed issue whole life that was more competitive than what you can get on the street for their captive side. And just a handful of things. Now, obviously, the downside of being a captive agent is you can represent one and only one carrier. So I represented Mutual of Omaha, and that was it. So huge hindrance. And then if you're just looking for reference, my commission level was around 40%. Not the greatest. Really hard to make a living on that. Did that 2 years. I built my book of business with them, and I was on Master Builders Club level. That means anything to you, by straight cold calling small business owners in my local area. And so I would wake up and I would have a whole day. They'd have a schedule mapped out for me, 9 a.m. till 11 a.m. We're cold calling small business owners. It actually started even before that. 7 a.m. through 9 a.m. What we were doing is putting mailers in, either for small business owners or young families. And then we'd send those mailers out. 9 a.m. through 11 a.m. we'd hit the phone, cold calling those business owners, some of which we'd sent a mailer to. Some of them it was just straight cold. And all the mailer would really say, and I don't think this really helped anybody ever, but it made our new financial advisors feel more confident. Hey, we sent you a piece regarding Mutual of Omaha and the services that we can provide regarding life insurance, disability insurance, retirement planning for you and the company, or just you and your family personally. And then we'd call and we'd basically say, hey, we sent you a letter last week regarding all of these services. What we'd like to do is come out there and give you a consultation to be able to go over life insurance, disability insurance, retirement planning for you. So that's what I did for 2 years, built my book pretty well, but obviously I was getting beaten out if there was any other financial advisor or any other broker that they were talking to, because Mutual of Omaha, as good as their products were and as cool as that Indian head logo is, we'd get beat. So I moved to a company called AXA. You might know it as AXA Equitable, name change, yada, yada. The Equitable is what it very used to be in the 1800s. So they've been around forever. They touted they took people from the captive environment that had some experience, that knew what they were doing. And what they did is they gave them access to all of the companies and all of the products. And so while I was at Mutual of Omaha, I got my life and health license. I got my Series 6, 63, 65. And then when I moved over to AXA, they really taught me how to use all of that. You know, Mutual of Omaha had very limited products on the investment side as well. AXA gave me access to essentially everything. BlackRock, Morningstar, learned the whole broker-dealer and RIA, registered investment advisor, world. And they gave me access to all of the different life insurance companies. And that was through AXA Network, Crump, and a number of different partners that they had. And what I'd learn is, okay, so now if I kept doing what I'm doing, working with the small business owners, I'd be able to represent more products and more product lines. So I grew my book of business, and I learned from them for about 2 years. During that time, I learned how to master the fact finder on a more comprehensive level. And then I learned how to master case design, backfilling great products. You know, the design of what the clients need, whether it's a little bit of life insurance or disability insurance or anything, I'd be able to find a carrier and then find a product that met all those needs. And so I learned all of those things, plus the investment side so much more, because I had access to all of the different carriers over there. Then I went out on my own for a while. Basically wasn't making quite enough money to be able to branch off and do it all on my own, because even AXA took a haircut on my commission, okay? And all they were really giving me was a desk and a phone, and I said, I can probably figure out the desk and the phone, guys. So once I mastered everything that AXA had to offer to teach me, I went out on my own, did okay, you know, and got through marketing companies, you know, street level contracts, did just fine with that. But I was running into a couple of issues. I had my income down too low, couldn't get a mortgage, couldn't get disability insurance because I didn't have enough income after all of my business expenses. So did well, but not well enough. So I joined a company called Senior Market Sales. And they're one of the largest IMOs in the senior market. They're one of the top carriers for Aetna, Humana, SilverScript, PDP. They're the exclusive carrier for a number of different things. So hundreds of millions of dollars in production. And they did most of the lines of business, not necessarily the managed money and the Series 65 type stuff, but basically everything on the insurance side they handled. So I recruited for them, and my weakest part at that point, because I was really good at life insurance, really good at annuities, really good at disability and long-term care insurance. The weakest part of my business was Medicare. And so they asked me to become a marketer with them and help them recruit agents nationwide. I said, sure, that sounds like fun. I haven't done a whole lot of recruiting before, but I think I'd be good at it. I think I could teach a number of agents some things, so I joined them. They tried heavily to put me on the life and annuity side because I knew that game so well. I actually decided to join the Medicare marketing side and train agents on Medicare, because I felt at that point that was the weakest part of my game. And if I could up that level, I'd be really well-rounded in everything. So that's what I did. I joined the Medicare team. I recruited thousands of agents, built $1 million book of business from these agents producing, and was there for almost 2 years. They had, you know, just a salary plus a very, very small bonus when these agents would go out and sell policies. And you'd have to be there for over a decade to really make any sort of significant income. So once I learned, you know, what Mutual of Omaha had to offer on their captive side, what AXA had to offer with their breadth of different products and different product lineups, and I learned how to recruit from Senior Market Sales, I said, you know, I think I can do all of that. And so today, you know, I have 20 agents in Omaha that are running around selling all of these different things that I've learned the Fact Finder, that have access to all of the products and everything. And then I started a recruiting company, Total Insurance Marketing, and that recruits nationwide for me. And I have a little over 400 agents at this time. So that's just the quick background on me. I'm only 31 years old. I don't have everything in the world figured out, but I'm doing pretty well. And so what I'd like to do through this video series is just share my experiences, share my knowledge, and give you more resources to help you get to that level. Through that, I've had to develop, you know, obviously leads are one of the toughest parts for agents to figure out, and I'll go through mine in depth, but I've created a call center over in Pakistan that calls around and figures out the yes people, the people that want to quote, the people that want help with insurance or retirement planning. Excuse me. And once we've figured out the people that want help, they just put it in a sheet for me, and then I can spend 1 hour making phone calls on this list of all the yes people. You'll obviously have to grow to that point. Maybe you'll have to make those calls yourself. That's okay. That's what I started myself doing when I was at Mutual of Omaha, just straight cold calling. But eventually you're going to learn your time is so valuable. What you want is to only be working with the people that want your help. So if you can get a low wage worker to make those calls for you, get those yeses for you, then you can spend your time so efficiently. Maybe 1 hour of phone calls for you. We'll set 3 or 4 or 5 meetings for the next day and the next day. Once you have, 3, 4, 5 meetings, when you're doing all of the stuff that we're doing, comprehensive financial planning, everything from life insurance to retirement planning through estate planning and working with all of these different carriers, you'll realize it's pretty hard to do more than 5 meetings. At my peak when I was doing final expense and mortgage protection, I'd hold 8 meetings a day, and basically 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. my marketers could schedule appointments on my calendar for me, and I'd run 8 out of those 12 hours on appointments. They'd try and fill it up completely, but obviously you'll have some reschedules and some of that sort of stuff. So I don't recommend holding 8 meetings a day. It gets totally chaotic, and you're not running good fact finders and doing good comprehensive plans. You're selling a product. So what I'm doing today is a little bit different, and it's way more profitable, and my time is so efficiently used. So I'm going to teach you how to get to that point, what I've done for my lead vendor, because I've had to create it, because I felt there isn't any lead vendors that are in it for the advisor. They're all for-profit companies. They're in it for themselves, and they just want to sell leads, whether it was a good lead, whether there was good potential there. And then, 2 days later, if they sell it to someone else, they can claim exclusivity, but even that household could have put in 2 or 3 forms to different places. So now when I do all of that stuff, and I'll go more in depth on how I do the lead generation, it's the highest quality possible lead. And you'll need that because you want to talk to the people that are super interested right now, not later on. So that's a brief overview of my story and what I am about and how I've helped agents here in my local community, but also nationwide. So hope this is kind of a teaser for all of the big things to come. The next video is going to be all about the fact finder, so I'll go more in depth on that. And then the next one is going to be on health insurance, and then I might dive into product specific stuff on the health insurance, so which carriers are best for different areas between the short-term medicals and ACA and kind of where you're at geographically. We'll be able to help you out as a marketing company for all of that sort of stuff if you need that. If you love your current marketing company, these videos are going to be free. They're going to be available to the general public, but always there's a level of depth that my hierarchy is going to get beyond this, and some extra help that we'll do that'll propel you to the next level in your business. So thanks for watching. Again, my name's Tim. I look forward to teaching you more. Thanks. Bye.